Taurus, the woman who's doing witchcraft out of envy and anger, has passed away. Taurus and the light that couldn't be broken. Have you ever felt the atmosphere change around you, subtly, silently, but with a weight your body couldn't ignore? Maybe it was a certain corner of your home that started to feel colder, a space you loved that no longer felt like yours, or a sudden shift in your energy that no explanation could touch. Taurus, if any of this resonates, this isn't coincidence. This is recognition. And it's time. Welcome to Zodiac Wisdom. I'm Sophia, psychologist, astrologer, and a guide for women who are learning to listen to what can't be seen but can always be felt. This channel was created for women over 40, women who've supported, built, nourished, and held the world around them, who are now being invited to reclaim their own inner space. If you're a Taurus or carry the gentle resilience and emotional depth of Taurus energy, know this: you were never meant to absorb the projections of others. You were meant to grow, to glow, and to ground others through your presence, not to shrink for their comfort. In this video, we'll talk about a difficult truth, about someone who once sent energy toward you not with love, but with envy. A woman whose intentions may have disrupted your peace. And we'll explore what it means when that energy finally exits your life, through death, distance, or silence. Because something has shifted, Taurus. A shadow has lifted, a thread has been cut, and your light is returning. So please stay with me, even if it stirs something old, even if part of you wants to turn away. Because at the end of this, you may not just feel lighter, you may finally feel free. And if this touches something in you, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, share it with someone who's also felt unseen forces working against their peace. Because this isn't just about astrology, it's about remembering your power, gently, fully, and without apology. You're safe now. Let's begin. Gate 1. The energy that tried to break you. Taurus, you were never made to rush. You were made to root, to build peace from chaos, to stay steady when the world forgets how. And that very steadiness, your calm, your quiet beauty, your ability to stay grounded in love, can trigger something unsettling in others. Not everyone can handle your light, especially those who live in their own shadow. There may have been a time not so long ago when your energy felt disturbed. You couldn't quite name it. A heaviness settled in your body for no clear reason. Your sleep changed. Your motivation faded. Certain people drained you even without speaking. Maybe it was a season where everything felt harder than it needed to be. And here's the part you never said out loud. Deep down you felt watched. Not with admiration, with resentment, with comparison, with quiet buried envy. Taurus, I need you to know this wasn't your imagination. You are ruled by Venus. You carry the kind of beauty that isn't just physical. It's energetic. You nurture what you love. You give more than you take. And because of that, your presence softens people but also exposes what they're still at war with in themselves. That's why sometimes your peace becomes a mirror too sharp for someone else's pain. There may have been a woman, someone close, maybe even once trusted, who could not sit comfortably in your light. Maybe she masked it with smiles. Maybe there was no confrontation at all, just silent tension, subtle jealousy, a bitterness that had nowhere to go. So it landed on you. And even if she never said it, you felt it. In her words, in her absence, in the way your spirit began to dim after being near her. Maybe she didn't cast spells, but intention itself, especially when laced with envy, is energy. And energy moves. It lingers. I once worked with Darlene, a 49-year-old Taurus woman who ran a small home decor business. Everything was thriving, she told me, until suddenly it wasn't. I felt exhausted all the time. Orders slowed. I couldn't focus. And the oddest part? My home didn't feel like mine anymore. When we explored it deeper, she shared that a former friend, who'd once copied her business style, had re-entered her orbit subtly through gossip. Darlene hadn't spoken to her in years, but the weight had returned. She said, "It was like she didn't need to be here physically. She was still in my field." This is the truth that Taurus women don't say out loud. You carry energy in your body. You hold what others send. And when that energy is toxic, it weighs more on you than most. But here's the good news, Taurus. That energy, that interference, it doesn't last. It loses power the moment you begin to recognize it was never yours to carry. Because something has shifted. The person who once cast that energy your way, through envy, manipulation, or silent judgment, has now passed, or moved on, or finally fallen out of your energetic field. However it happened, the thread is cut, and you may have felt it. A sudden breath you didn't know you were holding. A day that felt lighter for no logical reason. A return of desire, clarity, peace. That's not random. That's your soul reclaiming what was always yours. You don't need revenge. You don't need to clear the air. You only need to return to yourself. Because for Taurus, healing doesn't come from confrontation. It comes from grounding. From remembering that your softness is not weakness. It's power. Real power. The kind that doesn't need to shout. You are not here to carry the weight of someone else's wounds. You are here to nurture your own garden. To feel safe in your own skin. To live slowly, richly rooted in peace. So if you've recently felt something lift, like you finally exhaled after years of holding your breath, honor that moment. It means the energy that tried to break you is gone. In the next chapter, we'll talk about what might still remain in your space. Because while the energy has left your home, the rooms you live in, the corners you've cried in, may still hold the imprint. And Taurus, you deserve to feel safe everywhere, especially in the space you call home. Gate 2. Cleansing the space where you forgot you belonged. Taurus, your relationship with space is different than most. You don't just occupy a room. You infuse it with presence, with warmth, with intention. Your home is your sanctuary, your sacred shell, your extension of self. It's where you ground, where you recharge, where your nervous system comes to rest after a world that often asks too much. But what happens when your space no longer feels safe? What happens when the rooms you once loved feel off, heavy, unfamiliar? What happens when the air in your favorite corner thickens, and you can't explain why, but your body notices before your mind can catch up? Maybe it started small. A restlessness, insomnia, a sense that certain areas of your home held an unspoken weight. Maybe you moved things around, hoping to shake the feeling. Maybe you lit candles or played music to bring the energy back. But still, something wasn't quite right. Taurus, this isn't just your imagination. This is memory. Energetic memory. Because your space, like your body, remembers. It holds on to emotional residue. And when someone sends harmful energy your way, especially if they once shared your space emotionally, spiritually, or physically, that residue stays. Even after they're gone. You are ruled by Venus, yes. But Venus isn't only about beauty and love. It's about value. The things you hold sacred. And when someone violates that space with envy, judgment, or subtle sabotage, your soul feels it like a bruise. That's why your home may have stopped feeling like home. There may still be items that carry energetic weight. A gift from someone whose love soured. A picture that brings back tightness instead of warmth. A chair where too many anxious conversations happened. And every time you walk past them, your body tenses. You tell yourself to ignore it. But Taurus, you don't need to ignore it. You need to reclaim it. I remember speaking with Maureen, a 55-year-old Taurus artist who hadn't felt comfortable painting in her studio for over a year. I don't know what's wrong with me, she said. I used to love that space. Now I avoid it. We explored what had changed. She realized it was after a falling out with a close friend who'd once visited that studio regularly, who later turned cold, distant, subtly resentful. Maureen never linked the two, until she walked into the room with a new intention, to clear it. She didn't do anything dramatic. She simply opened the windows, moved the furniture, and whispered, "This is mine again," she cried. Then she picked up her brush and painted for the first time in 9 months. Taurus, cleansing doesn't have to be a ritual. It's a return to presence, to peace, to remembering that your space is not just where you live, it's where you heal. So here's what I invite you to do. Choose one area, one room, one corner you've been avoiding, even subtly. Sit there, breathe, let your body speak before your brain interrupts. What does this space feel like? Heavy, silent, sad, cold? What's the first object your eyes land on? And how does it make you feel? Now ask gently, is this energy mine? If the answer is no, you already know what needs to happen. You don't need to burn sage or play mantras unless they feel true to you. What matters is intention. Touch what needs to be moved. Open what needs to be aired. Say aloud, I release anything that isn't here to support my healing. Rearrange a chair. Wash the curtains. Clear a shelf. Donate what no longer serves. Do it not out of fear, but out of love. For yourself. For your energy. For the version of you that deserves to feel safe in every square foot of her own life. Because Taurus, when your physical space aligns with your emotional truth, something opens. Your breath deepens. Your heart softens. The ground beneath you no longer feels shaky, it feels sacred. And in this realignment, you'll begin to feel something you may not have felt in a long time: peace. Not the fragile peace of keeping the peace, but the grounded deep in your bones kind that comes from choosing yourself fully again and again. So take your time. Let this be slow. Let it be real. Let it be yours. Because your home isn't just a container. It's a reflection of your healing. And in the next chapter, we'll enter an even more intimate realm: your dreams. The quiet space where your subconscious speaks the truths you've been too tired to face. And Taurus, your soul has something to show you. Not in words, but in symbols, in signs, in whispers from the deepest part of you that's finally ready to rise. Gate 3. The dream wasn't just a dream. It was a message. Taurus, when the world becomes too loud for your nervous system, your soul finds other ways to speak. And lately, it may have been whispering to you through your dreams. You might not remember every detail, just fragments. A recurring place, a face from the past, a hallway with too many doors, or a strange sense that you're being shown something real even if it feels surreal. You might wake up with a name stuck in your throat, or with tears you don't understand, or a sense of peace you didn't fall asleep with. And if that's been happening, Taurus, please listen. Because it wasn't just a dream, it was a message. You see, as an earth sign, your default is to process the tangible, the concrete, the real. You need to touch something to trust it. But dreams, they ask you to trust without proof, to feel without facts. And that's not always easy for you. But it's necessary now. Because when you're ready to release old energy, especially after spiritual interference, grief, or emotional burnout, your inner self begins to speak. And it often speaks through image, not language. Through memory, not logic. Through dreams, not noise. Taurus, your dreams right now aren't random. They're symbolic echoes of something deeper. Something your conscious mind might not yet be ready to admit. Maybe you've dreamed of being chased, or standing in a house with locked rooms, or walking through fog trying to find your way home. Maybe someone you've lost recently returned to say nothing, just look at you. These are not accidents. They're invitations. I once worked with Lonnie, a 58-year-old Taurus who began having recurring dreams of walking barefoot through her childhood garden. In every dream, she'd find her mother there. Her mother who had passed 5 years earlier, planting tulips silently over and over again. Lonnie told me she didn't understand what it meant, until one night, her mother finally looked up and said just 3 words, "It's your turn." That week, Lonnie began painting again for the first time in years. That's the kind of power dreams hold when your soul is clearing space. Your higher self knows when the energy has shifted, even if your waking life hasn't caught up yet. And it starts to feed you images, symbols, and messages to prepare you for your return. Not to who you were, but to who you were always becoming. If you've recently let go of heavy energy, whether it was through spiritual release, loss, or cutting ties with someone who once drained you, then your dream life may now be clearer, sharper, louder. That's a good sign. It means the fog is lifting. So here's my invitation to you. Don't ignore your dreams. Don't brush them off as nonsense. Start keeping a dream journal. Not because you need to interpret everything, but because you need to honor what your subconscious is trying to show you. Write down textures, colors, names, symbols, emotions. Even if it makes no sense, over time your dreams will begin to speak in patterns, and those patterns will lead you back to clarity. And Taurus, you don't need to be spiritual to take this seriously. You only need to be present, because this is your inner life waking up, and you deserve to be in relationship with it. You may find that your dreams begin to comfort you in unexpected ways. A hug you never got in real life. A conversation that never had closure. A sign from someone who passed. Or even just a symbol of safety. A warm kitchen, a well-lit path, a door finally opening. These aren't fantasies. They're real reflections of healing and motion. Because Taurus, dreams don't just show you what you fear. They show you what you're ready for. And right now, you're ready to receive guidance from yourself. You're ready to listen again. Not just to the world, but to the quiet wisdom rising from within you. And here's something important. Not all dreams bring answers. Some bring questions. And that's okay. Let the mystery be part of the message. You don't have to know everything to trust what you feel. You are a deeply intuitive being, even if the world has convinced you otherwise. And your intuition is finding you again now, not through signs in the sky, but through symbols in your sleep. So tonight before bed, light a candle if that feels right. Breathe deeply, place your hand on your heart, and ask gently, what do I need to remember? Then trust what comes. Because Taurus, you are not just healing. You are returning to your dreams, your desires, your deeper knowing. And what's waiting for you on the other side of this soft return is your light. In the next chapter, we'll explore what happens when that light fully returns. Not in grand gestures, but in quiet decisions. The kind that say, I choose me now. And that, dear Taurus, is how true transformation begins. Conclusion. You didn't just survive the darkness, you reclaimed your light. Taurus, if you're still here, reading this, feeling this, breathing through this, it means something has shifted inside you. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but meaningfully. You didn't just listen to this story. You lived it. You walked with me through energy you didn't ask for. Emotions you've been holding quietly for too long. And the subtle but undeniable signs that your body, your home, and your dreams have been sending. You've begun to realize that healing isn't always loud. Sometimes it's as simple as finally admitting, this isn't mine to carry anymore. Taurus, your strength has never been in your ability to power through. It's in your ability to stay present, to feel deeply, to honor what others rush past. You don't move quickly, but when you do move, it's with intention, with roots, with truth. And now something sacred is unfolding. You're returning to yourself. Not the version of you that dimmed her light to make others comfortable. Not the one who questioned her worth every time someone else projected their pain, but the version who knows how to protect her peace without apology. You've cleared the energy. You've reclaimed your space. You've listened to your dreams. And now, in this moment, you are being asked to do something quietly revolutionary. Choose yourself. Choose rest, even when the world glorifies productivity. Choose boundaries, even when they disappoint others. Choose beauty, even when no one else is watching. Choose healing, even when it feels slow. Because Taurus, the most powerful return isn't to the life you had. It's to the version of you that was always waiting underneath the noise. And if this message spoke to something tender in you, I invite you to leave a comment below. Was there a moment, a line, a story that echoed something you've lived through? Your voice matters. It could be the reflection another Taurus woman needs to read today. If you feel held by this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's walking a similar path. Because this isn't just content, this is connection. And we're just beginning. In the coming weeks, we'll explore how Taurus women rediscover joy without guilt, deepen relationships without losing themselves, and build soulful lives rooted in love, not performance. So stay close. Keep listening to your inner rhythm. And remember, your light doesn't have to burn bright to be strong. Even a steady glow can warm the whole room.